I think she was scared of coming back to this country, and quite rightly, because the people of this country don't like the fact that she's stolen our prince. And she's literally brainwashed him, blinkered him, and tied him down to his California mansion.
We're nearly out of time, but quickly, Jim, it couldn't be possible, could it, that a bloke gets sort of falls in love and...
forbid. I mean, he might fall in love and actually follow his heart. I love that you're our royal correspondent.
Do you sense that maybe trouble may lay ahead?
I've always thought that. Honestly, I've always thought that because, you know, not that I want to bring up the fact that I wrote that letter, but I wrote that letter a long time ago in hindsight of her saying something about me.
I hope people spit in your face when they see you walking down the street. I hope, you know, they throw human feces at you because of how you really are as a person inside.
And look, I know there's a lot of rhetoric and some people won't enjoy that.
We do know now she is never going to come and see her father. That's her main thing. She's a disgusting human being. The fact is, she said that it's going to be too expensive. She can't get a pass. Yes, and they won't pay for her, so it's much too expensive. Her excuse is...
By the way, you know, I put the olive branch out there, so now it's up to you, and you know, you better talk it over with Harry, but whatever. Meghan, you know, time is of the essence here.
If you look at the relationship overall, in my opinion, allegedly, of course, we have to say that word in their sentence, but of course. In the beginning, look at her demeanor in the beginning. She was so humbled, right? So appreciative to be in the position where she was at and not overstepping her boundaries.
I got approached by a guy named Jeff Rayner who spoke to me and said, I can change your image, he said. The idea was that these would all be candid shots, discreet, no one would know they were posed or anything. It would be just me doing my routine daily. I was feeling that this was very hokey and hammy.
I'm going to say this plainly. I do blame Meghan Markle. Meghan Markle, the stain of humanity. And yes, Meghan, I hope you're watching. I genuinely hope you're watching right now, because this conversation is about you. I don't believe she will ever truly let Prince Harry go. She is completely obsessed with the idea of status and titles she technically no longer holds or deserves. On paper, she is no longer a working royal. Yet the fixation remains. And honestly, destroying that connection may be the biggest mistake anyone can make in their entire life. It's December 2025. The holiday season is here. Meghan Markle is in Montecito, filming her Netflix lifestyle series, posting polished messages about compassion, healing, and family values. At the very same time, on the other side of the world in the Philippines, her 81-year-old father is fighting for his life in intensive care after undergoing emergency surgery to amputate his leg. And Meghan's response? No phone call, no visit, just a letter sent through representatives. Her critically ill father was treated not as family, but as a public relations issue, something to be managed from afar. And this is where the story takes a serious turn. Her brother, Thomas Markle Jr., the same man who warned Prince Harry back in 2018 not to marry her, calling her a phony and a bully, has announced he's writing a tell-all book. According to people close to the project, this isn't about sibling rivalry or childhood grudges. It's about something Meghan has never explained. Those mysterious years before Suits, when she was allegedly attending elite yacht parties in Monaco, surrounded by billionaires, despite publicly describing herself as a struggling actress barely surviving in Los Angeles. At one point, Prince Harry reportedly wanted to make amends and meet Thomas Markle Sr. But Thomas Jr. made one thing very clear. If it involved Netflix cameras or a PR narrative, he wanted no part of it. His father had already endured enough staged optics and media manipulation. Photos exist. Not rumors, photos. Images of Meghan on luxury yachts with wealthy older men. Invitations to exclusive yacht events were documented. Yet Meghan has never explained who these men were, how she knew them, or who was financing that lifestyle. Now, her brother. Someone who was actually present during those years and witnessed events firsthand, is reportedly prepared to answer the questions she's avoided for over a decade. So buckle up. Whether you believe the yacht allegations outright or think this is a family reckoning fueled by resentment, what may come next could dramatically reshape Meghan's carefully curated public image. And the timing, while her father lies gravely ill and she refuses to visit, raises the possibility that Thomas Jr. has finally reached his limit. When asked whether he believed trouble was coming, Thomas Jr. didn't hesitate. He said he always believed this day would arrive. He even referenced the letter he wrote years ago, warning others about who Meghan really was. And that letter matters. Back in 2018, just before the royal wedding, Thomas Jr. published an open letter addressed directly to Prince Harry. It went viral. He didn't soften his language. He warned Harry that Meghan would ruin his life. He described her as shallow, manipulative, and fake, and begged him to walk away before it was too late. Harry ignored the warning. And what followed? Exactly what Thomas Jr. predicted. The collapse of Harry's relationship with his brother. The fallout with William and Kate. The permanent departure from royal duties. The endless media warfare. The burned bridges everywhere they went. Thomas Jr. called it before it happened. So when the same man, who proved alarmingly accurate about Meghan's character, announces a book that may expose her pre-fame years, people pay attention. This isn't a random internet critic. This is someone who grew up with her, watched her patterns over decades, and accurately foresaw how her marriage would dismantle Harry's life. And there's something else. Thomas Jr. didn't use vague insults. He used specific language, words like phony. You don't describe your own sister that way unless you've watched her fabricate versions of herself repeatedly over many years. That level of insider familiarity is what makes this book potentially explosive. Now let's talk about the evidence that has circulated quietly for years, evidence Meghan has never directly addressed. Between 2004 and 2011, she played small television roles. She's described that time as financially difficult, auditioning constantly, barely scraping by. The classic struggling actress narrative. But that story doesn't fully align with reality. Documented photographs show Meghan during those same years attending luxury yacht events in Europe, partying in Monaco, and socializing with wealthy older men whose names never appear in her official biography. Author Kirby Summers reported that Meghan was invited to Yacht Week 2016 in Croatia, an event famously described as elite, indulgent, and invitation only. This wasn't a casual vacation. It was a high-level networking environment for the ultra-wealthy. So the questions remain. How did a broke actress afford European yacht trips? Who funded that lifestyle? What was the nature of those relationships? Because elite yacht culture is well documented. Attractive young women are often invited for networking and companionship, and the connections formed there can open doors traditional additions never will. And Meghan's rise followed that exact path. She married a producer. She gained access to Soho House. She became close to powerful insiders. That's how suits happened. That's how she met Harry. Those connections didn't come from nowhere. Here's what people often underestimate about siblings. When you grow up with someone, you know their secrets. You notice when money doesn't match income. You hear the conversations. You meet the people they don't introduce to their parents. Thomas Jr. and Meghan didn't just cross paths occasionally. He watched her patterns form. And according to sources, his book is expected to address specific events, relationships, and moments she has worked very hard to erase. One insider claimed his account directly contradicts the narrative Meghan has presented publicly for years. And then came the breaking point. On December 3rd, Thomas Markle Sr. underwent emergency surgery to amputate his left leg. Doctors said it was life or death. Thomas Jr., acting as his caregiver, had no choice. Meghan's response was silence, followed by a letter through intermediaries. No call. No visit. Watching your father nearly die while your sister manages the situation from California can permanently alter how you view loyalty. According to one source, Thomas Jr. now feels he has nothing left to lose. What's perhaps most telling is that Meghan has never once directly addressed the yacht allegations. No explanations. No denials. Just silence. And when a public figure stays silent in the face of persistent questions, people begin to wonder why. Add to that the unusually sparse public record of her life between 2004 and 2011. That period remains oddly undocumented, a gap that stands out in an otherwise curated narrative. If Thomas Jr. fills in that gap, many unanswered questions could finally have context. So here's where things stand as December 2025 unfolds. An elderly father recovering from amputation. A brother preparing a book. And Meghan launching a lifestyle brand while keeping her distance. Whether Thomas Jr. ultimately publishes everything depends on evidence, legal risk, and publisher backing. But one fact is hard to ignore. He was right once. And if he's right again, Meghan's rise from struggling actress to duchess may no longer be dismissed as speculation. The real question isn't whether she has a past she prefers to keep private. It's whether her brother decides the truth matters more than protecting her image, and whether he's ready to make it public.